And I'm going to tell you before I say it that it enraged me. There is a definite anti-white feeling in the country right now.
Oh, please.
Yeah, that's what he said. You know, sir.
Oh, sir?
Yeah, sir. Nobody in your family was hung. Nobody in your family was chased because of the color of their skin. How dare you? There's no anti-white issue here.
That's View host and woman with a dread mohawk, Whoopi Goldberg, telling imaginary Donald Trump that there's no anti-white sentiment in the country, despite being on a show that exclusively peddles anti-white sentiments. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like I'm gonna have to get rid of all these anti-white books and articles I've been reading. Just dozens and dozens of publications specifically trying to guilt white people for existing. You know, just entire news segments specifically stating that they're the biggest threat in the country. All gone. Turns out that was all just imaginary because an enraged Whoopi Goldberg says so.
Things like this. He's going to let states monitor a woman's pregnancy.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
He's going to deploy the military to deport migrants.
And the Mexicans are going to pay for it.
And he's going to absolutely consider pardoning January 6 rioters.
Of course.
Now, he was also asked if he thinks there will be political violence if he loses, and he answered, it depends. You are perpetrating anti-humanist issues here. So the question is he the future? Is he the future? Well, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
You know, that's the gig, they pay me.
Well, that is indeed what they're paying you for, Whoopi, as evidenced by your show's track record. I mean, everyone remembers when you recently had Coleman Hughes on, the guy who argued for a colorblind society, and you slandered him as a naive charlatan who was co-opted by the right, despite being a moderate who works for CNN. I mean, we've all seen similar clips of your show obsessing over race and belittling any minority who doesn't agree with your brand of grievance politics or victim narratives. For crying out loud, you even hired a person whose entire job seems to be stirring racial tensions on the show.
Meaning white women owned slaves as well. I think that women, white women in particular, want to protect the patriarchy here because it's to their benefit. The notion of patriotism and the notion of America and the American flag has been co-opted by the right as if they are true patriots. Mm-hmm. But when I listened to Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country. That white Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican.
Why?
It's almost like roaches voting for Raid.
I feel like that's an oxymoron, a black Republican. You feel like it's an oxymoron? I
do.
Why? Your friend right here is a Republican.
We had this conversation many times.
You do, and you say you feel like it's an oxymoron that you're Catholic, but you also are pro-life.
I don't understand either.
No, you don't understand yourself then. You have disagreements.
I understand myself. I don't understand either of them.
But it's not a personal
In fact, on Twitter, it is predominantly straight white men. So when Elon Musk says, wow, this is about free speech, it seems to me that it's about free speech of straight white men. And the biggest threat to our country today, says the FBI's director, is white supremacy. Merrick Garland said the biggest threat to our democracy is white supremacy. And we have never addressed why there is that issue that remains in this country 400 years later.
We don't know
the
that.
FBI director said white supremacy is
But that
the
does-
biggest
but that
threat
still
to our
doesn't-
country today.
Well, that still doesn't mean that that's the vast majority of people are. I just don't believe that in my day-to-day life that the people that you're encountering harbor racist viewpoints. I do think that this division that
If
we're
you
creating...
look like me, you would believe
But
differently.
you know what?
By the way, those are just literally things I found on Twitter in 2 minutes. If I really wanted to, I could find tons of clips like this. Segments of the ladies getting upset at Trump for suggesting that cops also kill whites, or arguing with Condoleezza Rice for not supporting divisive policies like critical race theory that make minorities feel helpless and whites feel guilty for something they haven't done. I mean, if you watch enough of it, you get the impression that The View is basically against any narrative that doesn't paint white people and their political opponents as villains. They aren't interested in unity of any kind unless they're in charge. I mean, we remember how Sunny behaved after discovering that her ancestors held slaves.
My mother's blonde, and she has light eyes, and my whole family looks like that. So I think inside, I sort of knew that this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. Still believe in reparations, by the way, so y'all can stop texting me and emailing me and saying that I'm a white girl and that I don't deserve reparations. I still believe that.
Someone did that to you?
Yes.
I don't know who sent her a thing telling her she was a white girl.
Okay, it's too much, people.
But look how disgusted she is at the notion of being perceived as white. She doesn't want to have any part of it. So yes, Whoopi, there is absolutely a sentiment pushed by establishment media and The View to foster racial division. And I, for one, can't think of anything more anti-humanist than that. Hopefully selling your soul for the paycheck was worth it, though. But let me know what you think. Do you agree with Whoopi and The View? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!